Welcome back, Haunted Horizons fans. Tonight, we take you deep into the mist, into a place that shouldn't exist. Imagine this. You're lost in the woods. The air is thick with fog, and just when you think all hope is gone, you see it. A quiet town glowing in the distance. The houses are warm. The people are welcoming. But there's one rule. Leave before sunrise, or you'll never leave at all. Some say it's just an urban legend. Others believe it's a curse. But what happens when someone stays past dawn? Tonight, we uncover the horrifying truth. Turn off the lights, plug in your headphones, and prepare for a nightmare you won't forget. This is the town that disappears at sunrise. Let's begin. Death. For centuries, the village of Ravenshade remained hidden in the mist, a place that existed only at night. Travelers who stumbled upon it spoke of warm lights glowing through fog-drenched streets, kind villagers offering shelter, and the scent of burning wood in the air. But by morning, the village was gone. The few who spoke of it never dared return, because those who stayed past dawn were never seen again. A night to remember. One cold October evening, Daniel Grayson, a travel journalist obsessed with urban legends, found himself lost in a forest road. His GPS flickered and died. Just as panic set in, a dim light shimmered through the trees. A town. Ravenshade wasn't supposed to exist. But here it was. Cobblestone streets, candlelit homes, and villagers dressed in old-fashioned clothes. They welcomed him warmly, yet their eyes held something unsettling. An old woman whispered as she handed him a cup of tea. "You must leave before sunrise." The vanishing hour. As midnight crept in, Daniel noticed something bizarre. The village bell tower had no clock. The tavern's sign bore no name. The streets were eerily silent. No wind, no rustling trees. And then the whispers began. Soft at first, then closer. He turned. Nothing. But shadows moved where no light existed. The villagers avoided eye contact now, faces drained of color. A man hurried past, gripping his son's hand so tightly his knuckles turned white. "Get out before dawn," he rasped. Then Daniel saw it. The tavern mirror reflected not his own face, but a rotting corpse wearing his clothes. His heart pounded. He bolted for the village entrance, but the road was gone, swallowed by a swirling black mist. The buildings now looked cracked, decayed, and burned, as if the town had been abandoned for centuries. He was trapped. Sunrise comes for all. The first ray of sunlight broke through the trees, and just like that, the town dissolved into dust. Daniel's screams echoed into emptiness. A week later, hikers found his camera in the forest. The last recorded footage showed his terrified face, whispering one final breathless warning: "If you see the lights in the mist, run, before it's too late." The Curse of Ravenshade. 1 week later, the story of Daniel Grayson spread fast. His camera, found deep in the woods, showed disturbing footage. Whispers in the dark, villagers with hollow eyes, and his final, desperate warning: "If you see the lights in the mist, run, before it's too late." But the world didn't believe in ghost stories until Ravenshade appeared again. A new visitor, Anna Caldwell, Daniel's younger sister, refused to believe her brother was simply lost. She knew something had happened, something terrifying. Armed with his notebook, she retraced his steps, ignoring the warnings from locals. "That town ain't on any map," an old hunter told her, "but if you find it, you won't come back." She pressed on. At exactly 11:43 p.m., she saw it. a soft glow flickering through the trees, the smell of burning wood, the unmistakable outline of Ravenshade. The town stood there, perfectly still, waiting. Anna clenched her fists. This was her only chance to find Daniel. She stepped inside. The town remembers. The moment her foot touched the cobblestone street, a deep, unearthly silence fell over the town. The villagers were already watching, unblinking, unmoving. One by one, they whispered her name. Anna, Caldwell, Grayson's blood. Her breath hitched. How did they know? Then she saw him, standing in the middle of the street, half hidden by the shadows. Daniel. But something was wrong. His body was too still. His skin was gray, lifeless. His eyes, black as the void. Her voice trembled. Daniel. His mouth twisted into a grin. You should have left. The curse unleashed. Anna turned to run, but the street behind her was gone. The road she had walked on moments ago had dissolved into an endless, swirling void of mist. The town was closing in. Daniel stepped forward, his voice layered with something inhuman. Stay, Anna. You belong here now. A cold, skeletal hand grabbed her wrist. She screamed. Turning to see the villagers had changed. Their flesh was rotting. Their smiles were wrong. The truth hit her like a hammer. Ravenshade wasn't haunted. Ravenshade was the curse. Those who entered didn't just die, they became part of it. Dawn breaks. As the first light of dawn touched the trees, the town trembled. The villagers let out a single deafening scream, a sound so unnatural it split the sky, and in an instant, everything vanished. The town, the people, the curse. Anna's body was never found. But 1 month later, another camera appeared. Inside, a single video played, a recording of Anna standing in the mist, staring into the lens. Her eyes were black. Her lips moved, whispering the same chilling warning. If you see the lights in the mist, run before it's too late. The final descent. 2 months later, the case of Anna Caldwell became internet legend. Her last recording, whispering the same warning as Daniel, was uploaded by an anonymous user. It spread like wildfire. But the video was cursed. Viewers reported seeing shadowy figures in their homes. Some swore they heard whispers coming from their screens. A few even claimed they saw Ravenshade in their dreams. Most dismissed it as a hoax, except for Nathan Holloway, a paranormal investigator and former skeptic. Nathan had seen many fakes before. But Anna's footage, it was different. It wasn't just a recording, it was a message. And Nathan knew one thing. If Ravenshade really existed, then maybe, just maybe, he could bring them back. The last expedition, equipped with thermal cameras, EMF detectors, and a crew of 3, Nathan ventured deep into the forest, following Anna's last known route. Midnight struck. The air shifted, too still, too heavy. And then, there it was. The town stood waiting. A perfect replica of the footage, yet something was wrong. The lights flickered. The buildings looked worn and unstable, as if Ravenshade was collapsing in on itself. Nathan and his team stepped forward. A mistake. The second they crossed into the village, a sharp ringing filled their ears. Their equipment glitched. The cameras showed movement where nothing stood. And then they saw it, standing at the edge of the street. Anna, a fate, worse than death. She looked human, but her skin was too pale. Her lips curled into a smile, that didn't reach her black, lifeless eyes. "You shouldn't be here," she whispered. Nathan's blood turned cold. "Anna?" She blinked, and in that instant, the entire village changed. The walls cracked. The sky rippled like water. The streets were no longer empty. They were filled with screaming figures, half-decayed, writhing in endless torment. Daniel was among them. So was Anna. So was everyone who had ever entered Ravenshade. Trapped. Nathan turned to run, but the road was already gone. The mist swirled, swallowing his team one by one. Their screams were cut short. Anna reached out, her fingers phasing through his skin. "You wanted the truth," she whispered. Her face split into a scream. "Now, you're part of it." Morning came. Hikers found no town, no bodies, no sign that anything had ever been there. But online, a new mystery surfaced. A live stream from Nathan Holloway's account, playing on repeat. A dark screen, a faint whisper, a single flickering message. "If you see the lights in the mist, run before it's too late."